We get how uncertain the future is. We've come of age in a complex world, face to face with problems we didn't create. So what's gonna happen next? We are. Because our future is the future. The life we have chosen has prepared us for this. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disasters and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more because we have an appointment with destiny. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Everybody, welcome to day 2 of the Rally Cry Collegiate Series presented by the Army National Guard. My name is Seymour, and today I am joined with Marky. Get the bag, Mark. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing very well, Seymour, and I'm so excited to be back on some Collegiate Counter-Strike. And you know what? To come back to a Collegiate tournament like this for Rally Cry, and then immediately going forward here in the bracket with such a banger match, Seymour, up here casting with you, I couldn't be happier.
And you're hinting even towards the fire that we got today when it comes down to matches. But before we talk about that, we got to talk a little bit about what these teams are playing for. I'm very excited, just as you are, and there's a lot of money on the line for this series, or not just for the series. I'd say for this tournament is a total prizing breakdown of $30,000 for the Rally Cry Collegiate Series. It's a lot of money. Marky. And it's across multiple titles, so it's not just Counter-Strike 2. We got the HBCU FGC series with Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, and Tekken 7. It's $5,000, $3,000, and $3,000, respectively split between those 3 games. Then for Counter-Strike 2, we're playing for $8,000. That's a good chunk of change. In Rocket League, we bump it down to $6,000. Madden College Championships is going to be $5,000. So we got a lot on the line right now between a lot of different titles.
Definitely. I mean, I was really excited when I saw that Madden College Championship in there. You know, watching those games, it can get so intense. And Rocket League, unironically, you know, it brings you back to some of the early days of esports. It really just makes you so happy. And with the fighting series as well, getting it all in. And then beautiful, probably, you know, the best team Counter-Strike esport that we have for $8,000 that we're going to be seeing, Seymour. It should be quite the tournament that is going to be going on.
Yeah, I fun fact, I got to cast Madden the other day for the very first time on LAN, and I had to watch my Eagles lose 3 times in a row.
Oh, no.
It's okay. Nobody picked Green Bay, Marky. Nobody picked Green Bay.
Well, thank goodness.
We're out of Madden. We got to talk about Counter-Strike. We got a banger matchup for our first game. Well, round 2 of the bracket. It's going to be Rochester Institute of Technology, the Tigers taking on the Northwood Timberwolves. Our first look at the Tigers this tournament, but it's a team that the Timberwolves should be wary of because both of these teams in the past have been collegiate champions, but RIT, they seem to be sitting at the top at the moment.
Definitely. I mean, probably more of your more recent champion just taking that NACE Varsity Premier Championship just in the fall last year. I don't think Northwood was quite in that competition. RIT did check out there. So maybe a little bit of momentum on your side. You're right. But taking those maps over Drexel yesterday, I think they're going to be red hot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see Northwood play again. We had our doubts yesterday with them, and we were kind of talking about, is this going to be the Northwood that we expect? Do our expectations kind of exceed the data that we have for this team when it comes down to collegiate? And by all means, it did not. We saw them take on Drexel, another team that in the past were collegiate champions, and they beat them 2-0. So that's going to bring us into our second set of matchups for today for the CS2 Collegiate Championship. This is our winner's bracket. We got Fisher going up against SC State, the Wolfpack, who we saw play Brock University yesterday. Then we saw Matthew McConaughey fan club going up against the George Mason University Patriots.
Can I join that fan club? I think we all belong there.
I think everybody is a fan of Matthew McConaughey, and if you're not, you're lying to yourself. But we also got Rochester Institute of Technology versus Northwood. It's the matchup that we're going to be looking at. And then Oklahoma Christian University versus the Ohio State University Buckeye Gaming Collective Scarlet team. And a lot of good matchups. But I have to say, when you're looking at it, this Northwood versus Rochester game, Marky, in my opinion, these are two teams that can go on to win the whole thing. This is a very important matchup.
Definitely. I mean, down here at the bottom of the bracket as well, likely to try and go up against Oklahoma Christian, right? I'm really loving that matchup against the Scarlet of Ohio State down there. So we'll see how that pans out. At the lower of the bracket, though, you're absolutely right. A preview of the finals at that, and Northwood in these 3 maps, I'm sure it will go all the way. And I'm not even really confident picking either team. It's going to be a slugfest the whole way. You know, you can go through each roster and just highlight each individual player, but it's all going to come down to who shows up in the server this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, just looking through the highlights here from Northwood, it's going to be a troublesome one for the Tigers. Just talking about a couple of these players. Tix, Nice, Soul Goat, Escape, Ellis. I think Tix, out of all of these, stand out the most out of the performances that we saw yesterday. The consistency between Mirage into Ancient, really commanding the server, really leading Northwood to a lot of these round wins. But in total, and I think Vincent and I really touched on it yesterday, you can't really pick one of these 5 members of Northwood and really say that they are kind of apart from the rest. They are all so star-studded.
Definitely. I mean, we went through it before the game. Northwood, you know, they're practically storied. I mean, these guys, you know, going through their playing history, it's just insane. When you see names like this joining together in Collegiate, you know you're just going to see something special walking away from every game. You even see just Tix popping off yesterday. I heard how big of a monster game that he had. I mean, you see it in the replays right now. Ancient will just be his domination, right? You see it going, and I mean, you really can just get down the rest of the roster. But I mean, you're absolutely right with Vincent. It's just going to be every day whose turn it's going to be to pop off.
And that kind of brings us into Rochester, the Tigers and their lineup, because we haven't yet seen them here in the Rally Cry Collegiate Series, but they have been Collegiate champions in the past. I mean, this is definitely a team of individuals who can step up to Northwood, but I feel like you're looking at them to really plan this out, really come into it with a strategy. They cannot, you know, walk in without a game plan still, because, I mean, this is just a Northwood team that, you know, if you kind of fight fire with fire, you're going to be doused.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better than that. I mean, it's really just going to be all the way through just these two teams neck and neck with each other. You see these bans finally come up. We can talk about them a little bit. Just that pick of Overpass. It's going to be very, very nice for RIT. And then that Mirage pick by Northwood, excuse me. I mean, you're just coming out straight for what they were warming up yesterday, and it's really going to be quite the matchup when you have it.
Yeah, yesterday it was Northwood versus Drexel, 13-3 on Mirage. We saw the op just kind of run around everywhere. Tix and Soul Goat locking down mid control. Ellis making sure that nobody could step onto B without A without losing a member. So Mirage is definitely going to be a tough one for RIT to walk into. But again, Mirage is a map that everybody relatively knows how to play. So I'm not sure RIT are going to be too opposed to going to that map. But Overpass map number 2, this is what I'm excited for. We got to see it in our second series versus the Wolfpack and the Badgers, and that went all the way to a 13-11 scoreline. The Wolfpack were able to win it out, but RIT want to go to that map, and I think I'm really liking this pick out of them.
Definitely, and it was one that you saw highlighted in their fall efforts in 2023 that led to a championship, right? They rode Overpass a lot out to where it was even banned in some series, weren't able to get it up, but coming through in the veto here, it's going to look really good, especially pandering with the Mirage pick that's going to come through. And you're absolutely right, everybody's going to be able to play this, but I think that's what gets me excited about it, right? You get into Mirage between these two teams, you know, all these players with advanced experience across the board, whether you're pugging it in the FPLC lobbies, right, in Mythic Diamond, whether you're getting those reps in, now you got to prove it on the big stage here in an official.
And if need be, all the way to a map 3, it's going to be Nuke, a map that I rarely ever get to cast anymore.
I love Nuke.
I'm hoping it goes the distance here.
Nuke
I'm expecting it to go the distance. You live in Nuke?
I wish, man. Actually,
that is... I feel like that's a very like, where do you sleep at this point? I mean, it doesn't seem like it'd be
for me
very
personally on top of Hut. It's the most comfortable up there. But
very cozy.
It's looking very cozy at the back of these apartments as well for Northwood. Looking to concoct something here. Try and get back on B, but hey man.
It was a round reset.
Round reset. Nothing going on.
Right back. It didn't happen. Look away. You didn't see anything. This is round 1. It wasn't that round before. You got bamboozled. We got bamboozled, and that's okay. Mirage map number 1, though, with Rochester starting off on the CT side. You saw early setup over towards B. They're going to still lead with that, leaving only one player at A. It's Unis. And this is the right call to make because the Timberwolves, they're looking to kind of play on site, play through apps.
K2 hopping up board, and now he will hear the steps right through. Tix, he's going to be hopping right out, caught in the air, and K2, he is waiting, and just allowing Ellis to get on the bomb site and get comfortable, because now he waits and fires on escape, at least gets that planner, and K2 has got to. Soul Goat leaving him in a 1 versus 3, and they tap him right out. Rochester striking early with their first pistol.
You couldn't ask for better trigger discipline than that from K2. It got a little bit scary at one point. I thought after the whiff to the player bench, maybe somebody from Northwood is going to flick around and get that trade, but he's able to secure those 2 kills. Benji from Catwalk able to find 2 jumping out of apartments, and Northwood just jump into the blender. That's a fantastic read from RIT in round 1 of Mirage to start off with a pistol round. Now they can see if they can grow this lead to 2. With the conversion, MP9 from Proto looking to walk right up mid, look to find some extra cash in the pocket with some help. Snaps around to Ellis, and with K2 watching over him, Northwood just cutting down to pieces.
And now that peek from the bottom of Connector, it's all good. And Nice is at the top of middle, just with the Deagle, and they are just running it down. MP9's up and at that range. Uni just taking it all right there. And Proto, all of the efforts come through for the second round. 1 man down, it's all good. But Northwood, now they're finally up and going to get this 5 AK buy. So we're going to see what they're really going to be bringing here on Mirage right now.
Only 3 kills there with the MP9 from Rochester Institute. The Tigers, I mean, it's good cash, but would have loved to get all 5. So into this bonus round, they're going to buy up an M4, stick with the FAMAS, and keep Proto on an MP9 of his own. So to combat this rifle round, they have quite a stacked buy for themselves. So definitely can't count them out. MJB going to slip through the smoke to tuck away inside mid windows. You have connector control. You have a player in Catwalk, and the crossfire should be good to find a couple kills. Proto strikes first.
Just again. Now this timing through window as MJB strikes down with a lot of damage and the first kill converted. That's Soul Go. That will definitely... Wishing that trade could have came through, but right now, he's just got to rely on what's alive, and what's alive is Tix. We know the domination he caused in his first series against Drexel yesterday. Now Nice up and above. K2 strikes again for the double.
5-1 from K2 in the start of this game. RIT ready to take the bonus round 3 of Mirage. And Northwood just cannot get the ball rolling so far. You almost had some fantastic timing through connector. You had a player get towards the stairs. You had a player in sandwich as well. You're just trapped. RIT finding those opening kills. Proto removing the player outside of apartments really leaves Northwood with really nowhere to go. And then MJB, who plays his cards right, peeks, you know, right place, right time. 2 players looking away from window. Northwood just cannot be making mistakes like that. You have to make sure that you're clearing these angles. You have to make sure that you're not giving anything up for free to RIT. Because now, looking to go down the barrel of a 3-0. Tix now gonna look to get that bomb planted, but Benji swings out from Catwalk, and that's gonna be the third round secured.
Third round secured indeed, and a cookie cutter start here for Rochester as they've gotten everything that they've wanted, and Northwood has been tabbed out, but right here just comes from where you least expect it, just in those timings. It fades at window, and K2 as well, been so consistent. That's what you're going to need to see for Rochester, right? Maybe coming in with a little bit of a question mark when Northwood firing up yesterday as well as they did. Now they're going to be responding to those with a 3-0 lead early.
K2. Oh, lots of action through Palace, and it looks like Northwood would just want to jump out as quick as possible. Proto's going to soften them up for K2 to remove the player from top stairs. Soul Goat going to try to get a bomb plant, but won't be able to make it happen. Clean round from RIT.
And I gotta say right now, Proto is probably the most underrated player in this game. I know we're only through 4, but I think in every round he's had some sort of impact, right? He was one of those players up through middle in that second round with the MP9s, and now just working it out. Proto doing so well, some precise shots from jungle, picking up their 4th.
is a round that Northwood need to pick up before things starting to get a little bit troublesome in the server. And another default play for mid control with a little bit of aggression in and around apartments, but we've seen them walk this line before. We've seen them fall in the same line, and this time they don't have to worry about mid control, but instead RIT going for the stack on A and heavy aggression in and towards Palace.
Uni down below, ever so patient. I do like this setup over towards A, but right now they're going to have to be aware of the slow crawl that's going to be from the split, and Uni is going to have to be set up for it, and he is. Proto, like we were just highlighting, has delivered all too well on A. And now these shots forward, and now the setup activates. They find the first part of it and mollied out. They're just going to have to smoke this sandwich position. Tix taking even more space. This man is just on a heater, getting his second entry.
Talked about Tix yesterday. Such a
Unreal
main state for Northwood, and into this round finally activates, and 4 kills at a Tix to finally put one on the board from the Timberwolves. You need plays like that from Tix to ignite this flame that Northwood have been missing in the first 4 rounds. And just look at the way he's swinging these fights, playing on contact for 3 out of the 4 of those kills and winning the duels. Northwood should be feeling good after that round, and still not a steady buy for RIT. They've been battling through this, but Proto brings the op out and through mid. Nice, first of all.
Double dipping maybe, just trying to get in, and a swing and a miss. Very good try, but K2 is just going to try and fan this pressure just with the nades. He knows Tix and Soulgoat are out, but there is Escape trying to make his presence known at ramp. This is a name we haven't said all too much in the first 5, but here in round number 6, making his presence felt early just on A. K2, he's got to try and lock in just everything around him at Palace, because Tix, he's trying to just bring the malice here through the con.
JB brings Northwood down to 3, and Benji brings him down to 2. Such a strong start out of Proto with the op. Silences the aggression out of Northwood, and it really makes it hard for them to decide where they want to go. So Soulgoat, Escape, what do they have to offer here in a 2 versus 5? MJB is going to swing information now onto Soulgoat, and the dink is going to bring him down to 15 HP. Escape, last real chance for Northwood to maybe pull this round back, but MGB trades it out, and K2 hunts down Soulgoat. 5 rounds, they bounce back.
And I think it's about time that I bring up that this is Northwood's map pick. I mean, this is no secret, right? The conversation immediately with Mirage is it's sort of never your map pick, but especially going into an RIT squad like this, they are bringing it to you early in the beginning of this game, and you're going to need more than just Tix to activate here early. We got to see Soulgoat activate, Escape over here at A, got to get going. Nice as well. This is a team of stars, and we've got to see him shine.
The map pick of Northwood. RIT, they say, hey, we love Mirage just as much as you do. And their CT side almost looks unbreakable. Benji again for a first blood. The way of the Tigers. And K2 gets a second one. Tix falls at B. Looking to now open up this smoke, and Escape on the other side falls. K2 putting them all in the dirt. Finally going down to Ellis, but the damage has been done. 2 versus 4.
Ellis damage fanned away, and that's going to be Benji from Cat. They're going to try and fight into this, even though you've really just got to stand toe and wait for the rotations to come in. Really, if you're going to look at the University of Northwood's coin, they have the positioning a little bit towards jungle, and Soulgoat, if he can stand strong through default, has the angle for it to land the first. Saw the shadow of Uni, and now trying to land the sprays, isolating the fights. Ellis has got the kill, MJP goes down, and there is Northwood activating into the round just like that.
The second pillar of Northwood stands up. Soulgoat, 3 kills to put that round away. Now an AWP for Northwood, a second round on the board, and a round that you definitely should not have won. But it starts with this. Ellis takes the player from stairs, and Soulgoat puts that plant in the dirt. And from here on out, I mean, just look at the way Soulgoat plays around this pillar. The 2 kills from CT alone, helping that space for Ellis to stay quiet until needed. rounds like that, you know, RIT, just as much as Northwood wanted, RIT just cannot lose those. That could have been a 6-1 lead, but now we're looking 5-2.
Ooh. Might be looking at the check for 5-3 as well as just this 4v2 up. MJB waiting ever so patiently, and honestly, they didn't clear this last time, and that's a molly in deep to Van. MJB peeking off the back of it, and Ellis just good for that entry. A double for him in the round. Escape with 2 as well, and now Northwood get their third.
Yesterday, I mean, we looked at the Northwood Timberwolves on Ancients, and they started down 5-1. They came back to win it 13-6. We could be looking at that same story here on Mirage. A slow start, but now they're starting to look more alive than ever. And just an eco round from RIT could bring this down to a 1-round differential. They are going to be snapped into connector, and Northwood are going to play through Palace, so these USPs may have a chance to fight it.
Now swinging in, they will go. It's Uni putting up these flashes, but just these kills out in a fury, and Tix pulls out the sidearm. It's a little bit faster than reloading. Northwood, they pull it within 1, and I gotta just say that really when you're having this nerves, you just come back from the 5-1. Sometimes it's not that big of a deal, right? You know the experience that Escape, that Tix, that Soul Goat, all of these players have playing with each other, right? They've came back from worse, right, in these advanced divisions, right? And really you just see that same experience come out against what's going to be your most formidable opponent here in the Collegiate circuit.
Now RIT, if they want to maybe stay in the lead here, round 10 must go their way. And Banshee's going to open it up with a double kill on A. Or a double kill through mid, I'm pretty sure that was.
Response either way from Tix. He's up in their face, and now Uni around the corner, just trying to fight for his life. But Benji is low, and Tix will say goodnight. Only a couple more bullets. He could have had the headshot. That's what's great about the AK. And now that molly to fan him back. 1:10 and right into the 2v2.
Yeah. Low HP on Tix. 22 health. Bomb is quickly looking to work to the side of Tix, but Tix cannot lose his life here. You're going to be putting Ellis in a round that you just might not be able to win, but Tix somehow walks away with the kill, and it's a 1v2 now for MJB.
Now knocking back in. This is the captain of the squad, MJB. No kit on his back, but at least has a flash and a smoke to work with. As Tix just crouches down and below and catches Ellis on the timing. Does not deliver. And now MJB, he's going to have to spend days looking for these players, but what strategy does he go for?
Drops the smoke, tries to fight it, and Tix puts it away. 22 HP. But still finds 3 kills to win the round. Tix is an animal. A true Timberwolf.
I mean, this guy is just ridiculous. And following up upon his performance yesterday, he has not skipped a beat. Now Northwood, they pull it right back to this tie game. Round number 11 is where we see it. And just these 5 AKs upright, we saw that op up for a bit of a moment on Solgo. You see him pull it out sometimes on one again, 7 and 5 in advance right now. And now these shots just down the barrel in connector. A little bit of space trying to be gained, and K2 is trying to deliver on the spam. But now something else being delivered up Cat.
Really seems like Northwood are in full control now of Mirage. You can see why they wanted to play this map. Because once the ball gets rolling, it does not stop. The eco round is snuffed out flawlessly by Northwood University. And that gives them the lead for the first time on map 1 of this series.
Pulling ahead like this, I mean, they've practically recovered their entire half. Proto is a name we saw getting going here, and this is a guy that's sort of a Swiss Army knife on the CT side, right? Rochester are only going to be within 1, but this is going to feel a hell of a lot worse, right? You're going to be now here within round 12, and you have got to get this tie game just for the mental, just to keep yourself in this contest, because this is going to be a long one this afternoon, and you can't try and get heated right here at the start.
Writing down one member. RIT on 3 health as well. K2 is going to have to do his best, but it just doesn't seem like RIT can no longer hold the control that they did in the past, and bomb's going to easily be planted. Escape on the
K2.
aggression
Oh,
in
Lord.
jungle, too. K2 gets locked down.
2K2 indeed, always delivering here, and just on these angles will just be unfortunately taken out. And now SoulGoat in the post plant will try and go large, because now MJB, he's going to try and be in charge, landing at least his first spray, but just too tall of a task. Northwood roaring back with 6 in a row, 7 in total. My word, Seymour.
And RIT kind of whimpering away after those last couple of rounds. You look at the spree that Northwood went in the history there. What was 5 rounds looking fantastic from RIT, almost unstoppable at the beginning of Mirage. Northwood, you're right, they truly roared their way back into this one. And in that last round too, it got a little bit shaky. MJB almost able to find that 3rd kill of the round onto Escape, but not able to make it happen. And Northwood now leading into the second half. 7-5 RIT on the T side. It'd be really good for them to find yet another pistol here on Mirage and try to cut this lead back down. And Northwood starting to work a flank actually through underpass.
Oh, they found the bomb in the back lines. That's going to be a problem, but the rush is still on. Ellis and SoulGoat, they clean things up, and Uni's going to have to do the same, but this is going to be nice and easy for Northwood, just collecting all of their dollars. Ticks with the 2K right at the end. I actually believe he had 3 in the round. Oh, Lord.
And now we see an RIT timeout. I was kind of expecting to see one in the first half after the string of rounds that Northwood put together, but kind of facing death's door of 9-5 heading into their T side of Mirage. You love to see them slow things down, kind of talk about what ideas they want to put together to maybe stop this early momentum that Northwood has in the second half and put a round on their board, but they didn't get the plants off in that pistol rounds. They're not going to have money to really buy up for anything. I expect an eco going into this round for RIT, and right now this plan is to kind of just level themselves out, hit the reset button going into the rifles coming up very soon, and try their hands at this again.
Northwood even going up for SoulGoat on the Nova. You know what type of cash these guys are going to try and farm, but that Molly is going to be so perfect. They cannot hide, and right now they are just not going to be left behind. 5 just in the blink of an eye.
Tix is farming now on Northwood. Not a bad round, though, from RIT. You know, you go into this round with a timeout.
Right.
You start to set your plans for the rifles, and you go headstrong into whatever battle you're going to face. And whether it ends fast or it gets prolonged, it does not matter. So now this is the round that they're planning for. We can see what they're putting together with the rifles. They're going to go again for some mid-control here, sending 1 through apps and 1 lurking just outside of Ramps Uni, and Escape actually spots out the shadow. And he's going to know there's a player around the corner with the MP9, gets across, and with Ellis, they actually find the kill. That's an AK.
That's a little bit of something that's going to be carried over, but now right here, Nice can get it back, and MJB unfortunately can fall. We'll see if the smoke is going to be put up. Yep, that's going to be that wall just to hold it as K2 and getting that spam back. So at least getting a little bit lucky.
Yeah, lucky for sure. 2 versus 4, though, not as lucky. You might be thinking, I mean, RIT found the bonus round back in their CT side, and Northwood really on the steps of repeating that. AK for Escape now here at A can really do some damage. Just going to tuck away in ladder. SoulGoat with a Nova in the cross.
Peeking out, but you believe this Nova's got the range?
Oh!
It does! Unreal, SoulGoat. That one is going to be very, very nice, and it will bring up the spirits as well. SoulGoat, I swear this has been like the quickest 10 rounds in my life. You know, I feel like Rochester really, you know, worked up these 5 in a row. Maybe it took a little longer, but does somebody have a timer out? Somebody keep track, man. I don't know what the refs clocks are saying now, because right now Northwood have not only just ripped off 10, but in unreasonable time.
It's been about 20 minutes in the server so far.
Right.
I mean, you blink and you miss it for some of these rounds. Truly, Northwood are farming. And you can look to players like Soulcode and Tix to make it happen. Now Escape finds 4 lined up through underpass. Yes, it's pistols, but it's pretty. It looks good. And that brings him to 17 and 8 on the map. I mean, the Timberwolves truly look unreal on Mirage. And anybody who's looking to face them inside of this Rally Cry Collegiate Series tournament, ban Mirage. Get it out of the mix.
Ban something. I don't know what you got to do to adjust to this Northwood team. This is not any collegiate program. This is RIT. National champs they are. And they are looking like they are just being outclassed in the server in every way. Here in these last 12, it has been all Northwood, almost Nade in the face, and Proto's got to back up.
I think they're Tigers, but they look just like Cubs right now. The flick from Proto just barely whiffs. The trade from MJB is there, finds the refrag on the Tix, but now it's nice to reclaim that aggression. Cuts down MJB and Uni, and Northwood on map point for Mirage, 12-5. Dropping a couple more rounds than they did to Drexel yesterday. It was a 13-3, but they're looking for a similar dominant outcome.
You know, and after this series, you know, we'll see how RIT decide to try and move on with their heads held high to overpass because, hey, you know, this is Northwood's map pick. Maybe they had this thing figured out beforehand, but I don't even know what to say. They look so unstoppable, it is not even funny. Like, they are literally in these fights just back to back. They don't even know what to do. Like, just right here, they are disrespecting them flat through the smoke. It's a 1v1, and that's exactly how they win the game. Northwood, with absolutely no mercy, just strangle RIT all the way down.
Hey, is this the perfect way to put it? No mercy. They're not losing their fights. They're not scared of taking these fights. And ever since those 5 rounds that Rochester's got in the first 6 rounds of the game, they found nothing after it. Northwood go flawless through the second half. They go flawless through the second half of the first half, and they dominate their map choice of Mirage 13-5 versus Rochester Institute of Technology. And I don't really know what to say analytical about that one. They were just dominating their fights and really forcing Rochester out of their comfort zone.
I mean, I'm just baffled, Seymour. Same as you. Like, I mean, they were bullying RIT out of the server right there. And like I said, this is no pushover team. These are the national champions. And I don't think I've ever seen them, unfortunately, get embarrassed like this. You know, it really was at times just up and above. The multi-kills for Northwood, it looks straight up like a DM server.
It's not even like, you know, Northwood are playing the rounds, you know, strategically. It's not even like they're waiting till, you know, 30 seconds to hit and execute, setting up their lineups, dropping their smokes, throwing their Molotovs, clearing corners. They're just rushing onto site with their guns at the ready and destroying these gunfights. And once they get that bomb planted, even when they were on the D side, you saw immediately they just pushed the agenda, set up the line of scrimmage at the spawn of RIT, or at the kind of edge of the sites for their post plants, and they denied entry back into wherever they were looking to lock down.
Yeah, I mean, this Northwood team is just absolutely connecting at the right time. The cohesion is there, but RIT, right? This is 3/5 of a 9-2 advanced team, right? They are playing this season well. I don't know if you're just waking up on Sunday morning and unfortunately you don't got it in this series, but that's why we're in a best of 3, Seymour. They're going to be able to respond to this because, you know, we love the guys over at Northwood, but they're going to know it as well. I mean, I talk to SoulGoat sometimes after these Wanted Goons victories that he has in his ESEA efforts. And sometimes when they beat up on a team like this, I know how confident they can be. But MJB, similarly, on the other side of RIT, I don't know what you tell your squad. I'm really feeling for them right now because really, I don't think the scoreline does this justice. This was ridiculous.
You say Sunday morning, it's 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Both these teams should be should be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed for this one. 11 and 14 out of K2 had a fantastic start to the game, but as soon as RIT got those 5 rounds, it just seemed like Northwood, they sat forward. They're like, all right, let's get into this and let's not lose these fights. Tix went 21 and 9, 19 and 9 out of Escape, and we were talking about Solgo so much this game. He only went 9 and 7.
Yeah.
Those 9 kills had to be the most impactful 9 kills that we've seen from a team.
I don't even know what to say, man. I mean, I feel like I'm being a little crass on RIT's agenda, but even some of the stats don't sell it. I mean,
It's just
K2,
surprising.
you know, we saw the multi-frags coming from him consistently, right? But just one after the other from Northwood. Seymour, I don't even know if you can really get gassed up like that. There's a short break between these games, right, for these squads. Breath of fresh air or something.
Yeah.
Reset. They've been in larger stages like this. RIT just won a national championship on land. They have the poise. They can always get back into these series.
Yeah, it's time to just step back from your setups, shake it off, and get ready for Overpass. Coming up next, the map pick of RIT. We can see if they can bounce back and send us to Nuke for a map 3 here in the Rally Cry Collegiate Series. We'll head to a break. We'll be back with some more Counter-Strike 2. We'll see you in a bit.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
While I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Riley Cry Collegiate Series presented by the Army National Guard. My name is Seymour. With me is Marky, and we just saw a bullying in our first map of our series number 1 for today. Northwood step up to Rochester Institute of Technology, and they take them down on Mirage in a very swift 13-5. Marky, I wasn't expecting it. You weren't expecting it. And we went to the break, and we were both just saying to each other, I cannot believe what we just watched. If Northwood are going to play like that throughout this series or throughout this tournament, I don't think anybody can take them down.
Yeah, just give them the trophy right now. If this is to be a 2-0 in this type of fashion, like, I don't know if they're just feeling something today. Something's just so right for them. We don't get us wrong or anything. When these players are firing on all cylinders, it can absolutely be a game like that. But how often does that actually happen? I mean, legitimately, they really just locked in probably better than they have in an official at any point, right? Northwood, I've seen them a handful of times, but I don't know if I've seen quite a dominant showing out of the rest of the half like that. Northwood now has a very large bar for them to hit.
Yeah, and RIT, hopefully they kind of stood up and shook that one off, because I'm sure they felt a little rattled after what seemed like a very strong map from them. So heading into the T side of Overpass, let's see if they can start with a pistol round like they did back on Mirage. It's going to be a stack in towards Connector and looking to go up the steps through to A. And if they could get the better of Nice quickly and get onto site, this could be a bomb plant right away.
Now just up, rounding the corner in divider. It's just a timing game, and he passes at least that first question. Can he answer 4 more? Does with the running. Nice. What is this? Can he do it with the 4th? The damage done for it. And Northwood, my lord, roaring back into this Overpass game, have not missed a beat.
Nice didn't miss a bullet. 3 shots, 3 kills. Not easy to hit shots like that, but let's look at this one again. The sidestep, exits, turns around, dips back in. See you later, Uni. Proto, we'll see you next round. Wow. Individually, some of the best shots I've ever seen with the USB. And Nice just riding that high from map 1.
And, I mean, he's one of the best with, but now here is Ellis knocking at the door and getting those sprays right through. Got to respond off the flash, and they will just hammer you down. Northwood, they are just bringing it right to your front door, and they're even just having a little bit of fun along the way.
This is a very important round for RIT. You need to see the best out of them right here, and you need to see that they are not down for the count just yet. I'm sure that was a really frustrating map number 1, and even that first round, like, what do you do when Nice is hitting shots like that? But now with the AKs at the ready, a little bit of utility, this is where you need to see them bounce back, and it seems like they're going to go full steam ahead into a little bit of a default.
And you guys see him try and change the tempo. I mean, similarly on Mirage, it felt like it was just a blur. The rounds went so quick. Those first 2 rounds, Seymour, get done in like 2.5 minutes. We're going so quick. As now Nice responds with the headshot. That's going to be good. This is going to allow for Scape to really just get in on this timing. You're going to see a boost up there at the playground, and we'll see if he just collects this or keeps on moving.
This is the epitome of what confidence looks like from Escape. He has no worry that there's going to be anybody else down there. Walks right up to the ladder and now can maybe posture for a possible flank, but just going to stay put for the time being. Solgo flashes back out. Ready for the Molotov in case anybody want to push us through Monster. And RIT is so scared to make a play right now.
You know, Seymour, at least they've gotten to the minute mark. They are a squad that's at least evened up in the 4v4, and now a Molly placed in your face, denying you for at least those next 7 seconds. You can get in with the nades as well. It's going to be an obvious B play, and both of these squads are there. Jumped over from the teammate, and now like fish in a barrel, Solgo delivers on that first, but now a bit of damage back from RIT. 2v2.
Escape, Ellis, Crossfire here. Smoke is going to allow Escape to walk a little bit aggressive here, but Proto going to remove Ellis from pit. Escape now dancing around the pillar. 1v2 for Proto, but he can't get past the first. Oh, it was a 1v1 for Escape, and he feels that he could do nothing wrong right now.
It's just absolutely insane how well you posture from map 1 to map 2 with literally not missing a beat. I don't know what is in the Northwood camp right now, but they are literally just farming. RIT, they seem to be stunned here, and through 3, this is exactly what I'm seeing in front of my eyes.
So how do they bounce back into this game? Needs to be answered. Tix is going to rush out through water. And the pipes is 3 Tigers just waiting in line. They're going to have an M4 now. Given over to Benji. One of 2 members still at full HP. And he has light armor, so might be able to at least step up to some of these fights confidently. But 4v4, Ellis... Chance now to remove another one. That's the rifle down. Gonna swing out. Uni not gonna fall. K2 will rescue him. And now 2 M4s, but Uni on 21 health.
Nice, walking back in, misses the timing there. And I think Escape even acknowledges that he sees that player with that little flick that he does, just his reaction. K2, you can't escape today. Northwood make you pay at every turn. You're gonna pay the toll today.
I mean, the toll is mentally taxing right now, feeling for Rochester at the moment. And just looking at the way that Northwood plays, it's not traditional Counter-Strike. It's not, normally what you see in a competitive server. It is just swings and contact plays and just the perfect crosshair placement that you can ask for some of these players. They are truly on top of their game.
And that's what we were talking about. I mean, so rarely are all of their players shooting as hard as this, but even in these like score lines that you see, right, Solgot on that first map, we were commenting how it was really only like a 9-7 score line, but every time that we said his name, it was a multi-kill. It was a huge impactful frag, right, for his squad. And now Northwood, they have really tried to play the game, and Escape getting that kill, just ripping the op out of the hands of Proto. That's going to be so telling of how this series has gone.
The op fight goes the way of Northwood this time. Still won't stop RIT from walking up bathrooms, but Nice is here, and just like round 1, looking to repeat those steps. He's going to fall to Uni, but you can look to Ellis to maybe patch this mistake. Escape's going to be watching over with the op. The Molotov's going to back him down, so really just down to Ellis to hold off these players, and Uni has no idea that's bombed down.
Smoke on Divider as well, and ready and locked out of the sight. Or RIT out of long as well, and just at Divider, Ellis will just drop you in another Northwood win where they only lose 1 player.
It's just hard to fight against this, and RIT, they need to change some kind of, I think the pacing, the idea of these strategies. They're playing these default plays, these slow plays, trying to crawl their way onto sites and, scrape their way past some of these players. But the aggression from Northwood, I'd just like to see Rochester set up and execute onto a site, just explode onto a site together and try to overwhelm these players, not show them the respect that RIT are giving them.
A nade through and damage onto MJB. Proto on the other side. Ellis is up in your face right now, right towards this fountain position, but Escape, he holds the back door, always with the AWP, and strikes down, absolutely smacking K2 out. You better get that checked out, my friend.
Just gassing up Northwood at this point, the way that they're playing.
Yeah.
Ellis gets through Fountain, takes the fight playground, and gets back out, and now is sitting inside bathrooms. It's a huge pickup from Benji, though. First blood onto Escape, gets rid of the op, and now rotates down in towards Connector to see if they can maybe set up an execute onto B. But got to get through Soul Coat, and fortunately enough, Soul Coat a little distracted for the player on the railing. It allows Uni to totally pop off.
Just getting right into the site, making sure they clear all of their corners. Now, a chance for RIT as the shot's right through, and now leaving Nice in a 1v3. He should concede this one, get out with the AWP. Northwood concede their first, get up for RIT. That's going to be very nice.
I feel like finally I can breathe. I can only feel like what
certainly.
that feeling is like for these RIT players. A round on the board. They break through B. Uni with those 2 kills in through sandbags really opens up this opportunity for a round win, and it all starts with Benji getting the better of Escape as well. You need to now see RIT expand on this, ride off this success, and see if they can put a couple on the board. A little possible taste of Northwood's own medicine from back on map number 1. They give Northwood 5. Now let's see if Rochester can put 7 on the board.
No, certainly. And I mean, really, I mean, getting up in this 5-0 is not that huge of a settlement to get up, right? We even saw Northwood, that flick is insane. Northwood get up to a start like that in the previous, right? And you get it started. They just took it right back. Excuse me, RIT, they came back from RIT's lead. So you can still get into this, but it feels like so much more than that. They get up in their first round, and now this is a good way to start. Now respond with some confidence and try and make it 2.
Oh, Solgo's got the AUG. The Call of Duty gun. It's out.
You would know a little bit about that, Seymour?
Yeah. Don't see that every day, but takes look at the patience. The door wide open, the smoke is thrown, and that's the call for Tiggs to swing out and catch somebody with a little bit of utility in their hand.
I don't feel like Northwood, isn't it? Normally you see the AUG come up in the scenario in CS2 now where you're really putting it in the hands of your opper. But you think that they can really just get one into Solgo's hands if they wanted to, but long range like this at B, this is exactly what the AUG is going to be made for, locking down those long range engagements. The player's still alive and in water, but it is just a matter of time.
I mean, it's quite like the SG back on Nuke back in the day. You know, it's just those long distance fights. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just
I think Valve just reminding us that, like, you know, they can just have a little bit of fun. You know, if they really wanted to, they could ruin the meta for a year and a half, and they would just.
Texas walks right through their spawn marquee, and he's just listening to the rotation. He's like, "All right, guys, don't worry. They're going to be. Trust me, my sources are right."
And now trying to even get the triple, at least locking in for MJB. The fight goes down. MJB gets the crown. And K2 now popping out with another multi, leaving Ellis with the next man up to bat.
This round is going to be so telling. 1v2 for Ellis, hiding on the other side of the smoke, but it's K2. 4 kills in an instance. A second on the board from RIT. A write-off round from Northwood. Finding the 2 kills early on. So early. And with 40 seconds left, K2 starts the comeback, starts the grind. And at 25 seconds, the B take happens. I mean,
you really even see almost that triple line up, right? But just not enough gas in the tank. The timing does not go all the way there, and that's how RIT take control of it. And out Northwood, Seymour, besides the pistol round, have we ever seen them in a position like this?
Other than, you know, back on those first couple rounds of Mirage when they got broken. No, I mean, it's been what feels like an instant, but it was really just 40 minutes ago that we really saw them broken back onto an eco. And they will have an AK recovered through connector, and they have worked their way back up the stairs, but the bomb's on B. And the round is done.
RIT, you can see a bit of a rhythm forming, right? This is going to feel so good, at least, to get these rounds up on the board, right? Northwood were winning so bad at the beginning of this game, right? Rochester, if they lose this one, they go to a lower bracket. They are going to go scorched earth there. Feel bad for the teams that they match up against, because this national championship team has higher standards than this. And right now on Overpass, they are proving that they can still fend, still in this series. We're not looking all the way there just yet. Did Niche just die to the explosion or the actual nade hitting them? That looked like it was really close.
But, you know, you're going to love this. Yesterday, Vincent and I saw an impact Molotov kill. Not the burn, an impact Molly kill. Awful lineup.
Yeah, that's something you don't see every day. I think I recently just casted that for the first time like a month ago, and I have the clip saved because I don't know when it's going to happen again. It was just a random flashbang you see pull out, and it is just so comical every time.
Well, 3 rounds in a row for RIT. starting to work their way back on. But again, rifles now out for Northwood, and the job gets more difficult for RIT. No hog for Soul Code. It's just going to be AKs and M4s going head-to-head, and Uni starts off with a double.
That will rain a lot of confidence back. You have not seen an opening like that from RIT in this series. Now just ripping 2 kills here at the beginning of this round. Nice takes a little bit of space towards this short area, and now he's going to have to flick up for this monster situation when he hears it happening.
Nice is getting timing. Nice is getting so much information right now, but he's giving up monster. So now a flank from Nice to hopefully blow this whole thing up. And if Escape can play through heaven off of this contact that Nice is going to get, potentially the retake. But Proto's going to have to check this one, and as soon as he does, now they know.
Nade around the corner and K2 to receive it. Now we'll just back up that flash to just make this mark a little bit easier. A headshot in on K2. Nice is just going to be bringing the line a little bit closer. And now a perfectly placed smoke on the short.
Looking at Uni sitting in pit to disrupt this retake. But Uni's going to go down, and that's all down to MJB as long as it's with Benji. But they're off the back of the smoke. No kit for Northwood, so Rochester, they will get the round win. But at what cost, Marquis? Nice just absolutely put them in the blender.
In the blender indeed, and MJB, the good captain, will always go down with the ship, and he does. Just a great opening from Uni right here. My goodness, I mean, I guess that was all that needed to be done.
Almost a repeat round of what K2 did just 2 rounds ago. But RIT have now put together 4, and you have to be thinking that this is a chance for maybe a repeat from what we saw Northwood do back on Mirage. Now going to take their fights over towards Fountain, look for a little bit of control A long, try to work through bathrooms like we've seen back at the early portions of this overpass T side. But throughout every single time that we've seen RIT try their hand at this, except for when Benji got the better of Escape, this has been a round loss for RIT, and it's been because of Nice.
Always at the hands of the rifle, and you remember how hard he was striking up there in bathrooms earlier. Now Proto below. He's got really rid of the op in this game, but now around the corner, it is Nice. Just talking about him, already causing havoc, and now repeaked. Ellison from long could catch Uni and does. This is bad.
Just not properly clearing this site. Smoke goes down for Ellis, so a little bit of room to work their way back in. Grouping up with Tix, and the crossfire's in. Down to 1. MJB gives away his positioning, and Tix is just playing with him. MJB through the smoke, looking the wrong way. And it's Tix to put it away for the last as well. Northwood have finally found their footing after giving up 4 rounds in a row, and they're going to keep their lead to 2. They've secured themselves at least an even half.
Yeah, and I feel like RIT fighting back, they've definitely got their footing in this game and in the series back, right? Most importantly. But right now, that's a bad one to try and lose. That's going to be a momentum killer. And now off the Tech 9s, you really can try and get something going. But we'll see if they can't just run through the fire and the flames.
See how much force they have with these pistols. Ellis lines them up, finds 2. A third one as well. The AK just cutting them down. Nice raid from Escape to expect the push through connector. And Benji with an AK in hand. Full HP, but no armor. A flash, a Tech 9. Maybe looking to do a little bit of damage to them. A couple of consolation kills here, and possibly a 1v5 on the cards for this player. But first, he has to get through Escape. Without the armor, that fight is very difficult to take.
Yes, it is. Northwood even hammering down for that 7th. And this is really the half that they've set themselves up for, right? RIT get in towards the middle of this thing, but the foundation that they have laid has allowed them to, now when bouncing back, can really just get their stranglehold over this half again and can even just get this 8-4. That's what I would consider a stranglehold over the half. That's a good lead, but not as well as they had on Mirage. But like I said at the beginning of this game, it was a high bar to start off with.
told Vincent this the other day, Marky. 6-6, it's winnable. 7-5, it's doable. 8-4 is manageable, and then 9-3, it's just a curse at that point. So this is a point where if RIT can come away with this round win, it is definitely in the realm of possibilities, but still not the position you want to be in, especially considering what the 7-5 half looked like in the second side of Mirage.
Right now, that 8-4 is being leaned up upon, and this is a series we really wanted to see all three, really just specifically because of the teams, right? We meme about Nuke being the third map, and we love to see it, but unironically, between these two teams, it would really be a great contest. But right now, RIT, just in the beginning of these games, have not stood up, and at least on their map pick, they're able to get some life, but a 7-5 would speak volumes here, and it's almost necessary. But it really is difficult.
3v5. Starts with this information now on to Escape. They know he's playing alongside the sign, but he's going to get the better of MJB, and it makes this even harder for RIT now, down to 2 members. The reinforcements have already looked to stack this site, and can Yune draw them down from the depths of this grave to hopefully win out this last round? It's all down to Proto now, 1v3. And everybody's all here. Soul Goat's going to win it out. Tix finds the kill. And Northwood 8-4 on Overpass, heading into the T side.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, you really almost getting up on the spam on Ellis there, right? You can bring back what is a crazy 1v4 attempt, not enough time. But unfortunately, right, you're going to be seeing Solgo with a bit of a quieter game, but I mean, it's a completely different tale when you're on the same score, but you're on the same side of RIT, right? Unfortunately, MJB not having the desired game.
It doesn't seem like Solco really has to pop off at this point. 9-7 back on Mirage, and they win 13-5.
Maybe he needs to get that AUG back out, man.
AP found a kill with it, so, it wasn't the worst gun for him to have, but MJB starts off the second half with a frag onto Nice, and now RIT can look to see if they can put a pistol round under their belt.
Long range snipers as USPs. And now trying to get down with the spams. The bomb just to be planted. That's Soul Goat that gets in. MJB with that shot gets his third. And now just trying to get right in. Actually, about to collect a 3K if he keeps on this effort, but actually traded out. And there is Soul Goat back in the engagement, but right back into the site.
Oh, no.
Soul Goat's got to respond from short. And a hit on the back of Uni, but he goes around the pillar. He will go. And that bomb halfway ticked.
Just don't know. Uni's gonna have to make some noise. Taps it out in Soul Code. Ice cold in the clutch. 6 kills into the second half, but the 6th could be the most important. A pistol round from underneath RIT. What should have been a round win for the CT side of things gets a little bit mixy as soon as the smokes go down, and that is heart-wrenching if you're an RIT fan.
Man, it's a little bit crazy, right? We highlight MJB and Solgo right as these players that maybe need to step up, and I guess they hurt us because they absolutely did. But Solgo just that bit much more. Got that 4K over to secure that pistol round and get that 9th, and really, I mean, now they got a stranglehold over the second half in that timeout right here. I think I'm a bit confused. I think they just took back-to-back timeouts at first. At first, when they took this, I was like, is it a tech timeout? No, it's a Rochester Institute of Technology regular timeout.
Yeah. And, again, funny enough for MJB and Soul Goat, both members doubling their kills in that pistol round.
Oh, lovely.
So, MJB goes from 2-4, Soul Goat 3-6. Just a funny little tidbit about both of them. Just for MJB, you just wish you went one step further in this moment. And what could have been, 8-5. RIT just need to dig deep, and they need to figure out what kind of magic they can put into the server to find a comeback.
Gotta get something. Break out the wand. Maybe I don't know. What do magicians use? Maybe some cards.
Spells?
This is yours. Yeah,
what would be
something like
a
that.
spell? Would the spell be written out like, DE_spell?
I would think so. I would definitely think so. And some DE_CT luck is what they would need, right? Just in that spell for it. So hopefully we are manifesting something, but hopefully it's not the end of RIT. Hopefully we're not cursing them like witches.
But we do have that power, so better
Yes,
watch
yes.
out. Better be nice to us casters. The bomb's going down at B, and this A stack long has seen nothing. I heard nothing, and will most likely do nothing.
Right here, nice on the angle, at least popping off a couple of shots now. These pistols fan back, and they're going to find out exactly where they want to put their little stack for the moment. This bomb going to be halfway tick. There's a straggler as well by Bathrooms, the man that is too cool for school, away from the squad, and a bit of a dink in, so good try from K2.
Try and try again. It is just not amounting to really anything for RIT. Solgo's not going to let go of this AK. 7 HP, lives to see the next round with it still in his hands, and double digits have been acquired by Northwood. The Timberwolves go up 10-4 now on their T side of Overpass. Very calmly, I would say. It's the second half so far since that pistol round.
Moving ever so graciously, right on their plan. They stay up with it, just getting the 3 Galils, and now RIT now got to get
Proto
right up with the aggression. They're right around this corner, but now got to dance around the fountain, and around the fountain he will go. Not for his third, but Proto with the double.
doesn't expect Solko to round out that
What?
trio. Kobe from Tix. That brings
Did
us
he
into a
spam
3
him out
versus
earlier?
3. The Molotov's going to push K2 in the open. Atlas capitalizing, but Uni evens it back up 2 versus 2. But Tix has to be one of the hardest kills in this server. And Uni will have to go
What a
big once
win.
more. Like we've seen back in the first half, Uni can step up when RIT needs him the most. And he's going to deliver a 5th round, cutting down this lead to about half of Rochester's points.
Absolutely, and a great aggressive play that they cook up, and that's going to be exactly what the doctor ordered out towards Fountain, and really almost you see perfection out here from Uni, just absolutely dragging on the angles and getting those kills through. But I want to go back to that nade that you saw. I mean, I think K2 softened him up, and then Kobe'd up for that kill.
Either that or it was a double HE. Whatever it was brilliant.
Or, excuse me, I believe it was Tix.
Tix at least found the finisher for that one, but now with an AK in his hand,
Unreal.
ridiculous shot. I mean, he just swings it and wins.
It's just an unbelievably tight angle. I mean, hitting those kind of shots online are a little impossible, and right now, everything just seems to be that much in the land of Northwood, because right now they are just defining their own stories. And with this, I guess they can write their own rules.
I don't want to be like the one to make comparisons. It's a very simple-esque play that we're seeing from, Tix in that moment. And what makes
Tix
Goat so good at this game is just the fact that he can make plays like that, and his enemy just can't do anything to stop it. The reaction is unreal.
Confidence is definitely underlining, but so is Pro 2, and he's got to get rewinding right to the back of this truck, putting the shots down, and does finish off the first, but escape up close and personal. He just
MJB.
cleans you up, and an MJB 1v3, and almost getting off on escape right there. The shots do connect, and fanning a little bit of HP back, just down to 21, but that's going to be 11 collected for Northwood, and a bit of a better timing there for MJB. Might have had a better crack at it, but all we can say is what if.
What if? I mean, you can say that for so many rounds, not only on Overpass, but on Mirage as well, Marky. And realistically, if you scrub through this VOD, you're washing through it. There are so many winnable rounds for RIT. And I think that's what makes this so painful to watch for a fan of this school. A scout in the hand of Proto will leg escape down to 61 HP, but you have to look at what they're by here. A FAMAS, 2 MP9s, a Deagle for K2, and a scout in Proto's hands. It's not a lot to work with. They're
Benji-
already out of utility as well.
He's awkwardly on this engagement. The tower will fall. Tix is back, and he is just destroying them. Now K2, he's going to try and go huge here with the pistols. But my goodness, you're absolutely right. Tix can just get in at any point. MJB spamming the wall with a little bit of frustration, and now got to get right into the situation with the 2v2. Still able to get back in, but a lot of space being taken by Northwood.
This is winnable. AK for Proto, M4 for MJB, but Ellis
that's
is looking
better
to press
timing.
the issue, and Proto will not falter. Now in a 1v2, Nice is going to jump up over the smoke. MJB repositions, takes to the heavens, and keeps RIT in this.
Keeping him in it. Indeed, Proto gets that defuse across, and Rochester finds 6, right? I mean, we can talk about how this game has gone, right? When Northwood is really showing up, and you remember that first game, that was one of the most dominant performances I think I've seen from any team in Mirage in a very long time, right? You see a lot of NA ECL teams in specific, like Boss, they really can turn to Mirage in a time when it's really their darkest moment and really just have exactly what they need because, you know, Mirage is just a comfort pick for us all. But I mean, I don't even feel that way for RIT. You know, it was really bad on that Mirage map, and unfortunately, you can just get back into the game. But Northwood, honestly, they've just been a bit nicer about it on Overpass, right? Stacking these rounds on top of each other, they haven't felt as dominant, but the scoreline certainly is.
Yeah. Now for RIT, bundling up over towards B, 2 members to try to stop this push. K2 is going to re-up on the smoke inside Monster. Only an MP9 in his hand. And really going to have to rely on Uni to once again pop off for this one. The Tech-9's working their way in through bathrooms. Uni's going to fall down. It's all really up to K2 with his MP9. Only able to find the one. Tix trades him immediately.
You even have Nice on this Glock right now. I think he just picked up a Deagle, and yeah, he's down below in the red, but now he's going to be your hero, and let's see if he can go right here in this clutch. Can he swing off of the players that are just being mollied out? There's just a slight man advantage for Northwood, but it's being fanned back.
That's an MP9 in Soul Goat's hand, and Tix still finds value in Pit. MJB is going to locate one. Nice hiding with the Deagle. Lands the shot onto MJB. And a eco round for Northwood. A force buy for some, but enough to make it seem like it still should have been an RIT round. 12-6. The Timberwolves bring us to match point on Overpass. And they're 1 away from 2-0ing one of the best schools in Counter-Strike.
Just such a CS program defining performance right here up in the Collegiate circuit. These guys are definitely good enough to really come to test against anybody in these divisions in this tournament that we have over the next week. Northwood, let's see if they can keep it going, get this 13th and make it clean.
You look at, schools like Northwood, schools like Rochester, or schools like Drexel even, you put it into that mix, and, how much success they have along their accolades in the past and how much they ping pong kind of back and forth with that success. Northwood stepping up in 2024 early on and saying it's our time to shine.
They're shining with their bright flashes up and behind them at long. The stars to guide them. Now, Uni, other side, MP9, that thing can get churning and will just burn in right into Tix. And that's a very large head found. But right now, you're just going to be running it right into the belly of the beast, right up long, right into MJB's camp. Strike through the first. Now can try and do the dance, but just put out.
2 would have put them into such a good spot. But Nice finds the head of Benji through that smoke. Finds the second with the Deagle as well. Absolutely fragging out. 1v3 for K2. Only a Deagle with head armor. And gonna slowly work his way up the stairs. Nice, low on health. 11 HP on the other side. Will be located. 2 AKs to fight against. An AK of his own. But look at the reposition coming out through Bank. And that won't even come to be. Ellis watching the push onto site. Puts it away. 2-0 for Northwood over RIT. 13-5 on Mirage. 13-6 on Overpass. I mean, look at the Northwood Timberwolves go, Marky.
Look at them go indeed. 2-0 in a really incredible fashion. I mean, I'm not even like kidding when I'm saying this. Why would I be? That was the most dominant 2-0 that I've probably seen in the Collegiate series against an opponent like this in a matchup like we just had. I'm not even joking when you say it's defining for their program. I mean, when you have a moment like that over a school in a Mirage dominating performance, that's going to make them feel good. And congratulations to Northwood, because they probably worked so hard for it.
I mean, no lie at all, Marky. We've seen our, 13-0s. We've seen, dominant games before, but we've never seen a game like that against a school like that with a team like Northwood, where how good these players can be, and how good when you put them onto a team, it can possibly be for the program. But for them to actually perform at this level,
this one,
and execute at this level,
so crazy.
It is ridiculous. Nice in round 1 in overpass, 3 shots in the USP, 3 kills, and from then on, I had a feeling that Northwood were just gonna walk away with this, just looking at the way that they play.
Yeah, even in the response of that round right there, those first 2 come up in like a minute and a half. But really, I mean, the scoreline was just as dominant. They're a little bit closer, like I said, right? Northwood now just having a run. Even times, RIT coming through with large plays like that when the halves flip, and then Northwood, they really have to get creative. It really just sets up everybody to have a little bit of fun. But Tix, I mean, my goodness, dude. Like, I don't even know what type of tournament rating he's going to be having at the end of this thing if he keeps on moving like this, because Northwood, this is a matchup you look to see in a grand final. That's why we hype it up like we do. And just delivering on that front like this, if it was the stage that we had, I think everybody would be talking about this. But right now, you can take the victories where you get them right here in the bracket, and you move on, and maybe you'll see him again, maybe not. But either way, you're on your road to make some good money along the way.
I think, for Northwood, that performance that they just put on in this series, it kind of cements the idea that this is a team that we expect to see in the grand finals here for the Rally Cry Collegiate series. Just looking back at the scoreline versus RIT, 13-5 on Mirage. We expected that, it's Northwood's map pick. Yes, Mirage is, a map that a lot of people know how to play. It's a very comfort map for a lot of individuals, but when Northwood choose to go to Mirage, even after seeing how they played yesterday versus Drexel, only holding the Dragons to 13-3, we know it's going to be a strong map for them. So it's no surprise to see them come out and win their map choice here. But you go to Overpass, the map choice of RIT, a map that you said really defines the legacy of this team when it comes to them as champions. And you beat them 13-6. That is a statement from the Timberwolves.
It's just insane. And I will note, I'm a little sad we didn't get to see Nuke, but maybe in the next series, but I mean, you'll get it when you can, because I mean, you just got to play what's in front of you. And I mean, honestly, a good change up from the regular Ancient Anubis that we see a lot of the times here in 2024. It's a world we live in. But I mean, right here, Mirage is just, I mean, I don't think any words that I can say can really justify anything else. But if you guys didn't see that game, look at the VOD, because it legitimately, like, I was baffled.
It's on the edge of my seat at times.
Like, I don't know. Look, Overpass, that's a bad scoreline. It's okay, but I don't think Mirage's does it justice. You look back through this, and I know that MJB and the guys, they are going to be fired up after this one, because if I'm right, their tournament life is still on the line, right? They can go to the lower bracket and still make this thing through. But my goodness, I like I said, I would feel bad for any team they're going to play against down there, because boy, are they going to be a little bit troubled after that.
Yeah, so heading down to the lower bracket, RIT going to have to look to change things up to mount a comeback here in the Rally Cry Collegiate Series, but Northwood move forward to round 3 of our winners bracket. They go further and further in what is possibly a big payday for this school, and we are going to head to a quick little break as we jump down to the lower bracket to check out our next set of matches coming up after this break. We'll see you soon.
Our generation has a choice. Turn away from the world's problems or chase them down. We refuse to sit back and watch them pass us by. Watch us fly ahead. Rise to every challenge and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
That was just on me.